Yeah, just while we wait for the team, I realised it's 11. We'll give it another minute of random standard chat before we kick off into some more information, which there's plenty of stuff to share. Lots of exciting things coming up. If only you could see the things that we see that are in the pipeline to come out. It's drool worthy. So yeah, I know I'm ruining everybody's lives by talking about it, but not showing you the biscuits. All right, so I'll just let's just launch into some community stuff. Like I said, while we wait for the team to jump in. A few things that we've got going on to make it a bit easier for you guys, because I realize for people that have never cryptoed before, or for people that are in crypto and you've got friends that have never cryptoed before, it's a hard journey getting people to into the community, and it's something we've been really focusing on in the last week. You've probably seen us in the Discord talking about it. How do we, asking you guys, how do we get your friends in here to be with us, to be a part of the Discord, or to be a part of the community in general? Because I don't know if your friendships like my friendships out here, but the mention of Discord, people don't even know what that is. They don't know what a Telegram is. They think that's for people that wear the old the tinfoil hat type thing. So it's a whole nother journey, a whole nother step to get people in. And I think it's a really good. So we've been thinking of really good ways to get people to come through and join the community from that sense. And we've got some docs coming out as well that I think will make it a lot easier for people to be able to do that. So we've got that coming up. We have listened to what you guys have been saying, and we've been putting together something. So that's coming out soon. We also, myself, Sam, and James had a little play around with the wallet a little earlier yesterday, and we've made a video for you guys, and we'll be sharing that later this afternoon. So you get the hot alpha there as to a little sneak peek as to how things work. So we've got that coming out as well. And I'll pass over to Sam, and he can give you some updates about ongoing comps we've got.
Yeah, sure. I think right now we have this Galaxy campaign running and this Gleam campaign running. And I would like to remind everyone that it's going to end on the 10th of this month unless very, very, very long. Yeah, and through the Gleam campaign, I think we also, Joe said in the previous AMA that we also have this a meme competition that is been included in the Gleam campaign itself. So make sure you participate in that. And I think in other updates, yes, we recorded this a very interesting video within among our three selves. I don't think I can share much details, but yeah, I will soon announce that. And in the background, I think me, Joe, and James and Randy, we have been working on this stuff that involves the people that have been active on the social media that are posting interesting stuff on L1X. So just so you know, we know who's been posting. We are looking at you, and yeah, we'll share some interesting information soon.
And I know we've got one more, which I think you guys have definitely seen. It's obviously been very prominent, our 10K for L1X comp. So it's about contribution to the public sales. Every $100 contribution gets you one ticket into that to win 10K worth of L1X as well. So lots of competitions, lots of things going on at the moment. Obviously, we've still got our referral program as well, which scores with juicy 5%. So lots of stuff there still happening. But it's good to see the team here. We've got Spark, we've got Cryptonaut, we've got Merkle, so we've got top priority people on. So without further ado, we can hand over to that. I know we've got a lot of topics to cover, all the way from the wallet itself to even possibly maybe a little alpha about some merch store, maybe not. But I'll pass over. Which one you wants to jump in first?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Brilliant. Great to be on. Hello to everybody in the community. It's been a pretty exciting couple of weeks so far. Now mainnet beta has launched, which is excellent. Today, I think, I'll kind of give you a bit of an overview of what we're going to cover today and a few things that we can talk about. Talk about the wallet. We can talk about the claim process. Give you some updates around both of those as well. We can talk about, we've got a really cool upcoming Twitter space for developers that's happening on Friday. I'll delve a little bit more into the Exp Perks program we're working on as well. So there's a few things to cover, which is pretty exciting. And I think we're probably maybe cover off on what I wanted to do, maybe start off with maybe something a little bit different is I think there was a lot of excitement in the community when they actually saw the comparison between the L1X cross-chain transfer and the Stargate finance transfer. I think you am I wrong there? I think that was pretty exciting, right?
I think so, definitely. Seeing it all work and seeing everything come together, I think that was excellent, and definitely something shareable from our community out as well. That gives that real world comparison of look at the capabilities of what things can do. Absolutely.
Yeah. And just to kind of speak a little bit more on that, and we'll be releasing a little bit more info. Kevin's done an awesome video on just explaining some of the differences and why our cost is lower, and what that process kind of looks like. And we'll be releasing. We're working on that as well, just to kind of give people a little bit more understanding of what's happening behind the scenes. But to kind of touch on that, when you look at that, I think the pricing at that time was like $10 through Stargate and maybe $3 through us. So what happens when you interact cross-chain? You still have to interact with the blockchains of source and destination. So there's still their gas fees that you have to take into consideration when making that payment. But then I might hear the question from you guys, well, why is so much difference between $10 and $3 or $4 or whatever it was? Well, what Kevin and the team have managed to do, they've managed to basically really simplify the process so there's less contracts to interact with. Meaning that when you're looking at the Ethereum side, when you look at something like an XLR, which is Squid Route as their bridge, or you're looking at Layer 0, which is Stargate Finance, they're interacting, or they're having to interact with multiple contracts on both sides of source and destination. Now, Kevin and the team have done an amazing job, and just the fact that with our transaction, you're interacting with one contract. Now, the more contracts you interact with, the slower the process, but also the more expensive, the higher the gas fees. So not only has Kevin and the team being able to create a very low native gas fee of 1 cent, maximum 1 cent gas fee, they've also, the technology and the crosstalk technology that the team's developed has enabled and simplified the process, not just for the developer, but simplified the process in terms of the transaction. So it's interacting with less contracts, which means that there's less charge by the source and destination chain as well, because there's less contracts to be interacted with. So I think I wanted to talk about that, what's happening behind, because I think it's really important to know that it's not just the limitation that we've put on the gas fee on the native level, the 1 cent upper bound maximum, but it's also the fact that this technology is so good that they've managed to simplify the process so the transactions on source and destination chains have also decreased through that cross-chain interaction, which is not only reduced cost, but it's also up the speed of those transactions as well, which I think you can see in that one demonstration between us and Stargate, and there'll be more coming out. But I think that's really important to know what's happening behind, because I think that's pretty exciting, really exciting.
Definitely, like I said, having that use case that now we can show, and being on mainnet and everything like that as well. I think it's just from this point forward, obviously being a week in, it just goes up and up from here. And I really value you take the time to explain, why it's cheaper, why it was one less than the other, even though it's using the same chains and things. I think it's good to note that, because it's I think it's a question you think about, but you don't really think about. So I think it's good to know. So appreciate the explanation on that. I think, if we maybe just diverge now and head towards wallet talk. I know we've got CryptoNaut here as well. I believe you've got a lot of exciting updates from your end. Do you want to jump in?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect. So yeah, there's some good updates coming. The wallet is pretty much ready to go. We've got a few things just being tested on right now as well. There are some people that are kind of going through the process of even claiming, kind of walking through that as well. The team has put together some good pages on how to install your wallet, as well as how to claim your tokens, and it's very thorough with tons of different screenshots, pretty easy to follow steps, and also I believe that we've got a good teaser video coming out on the wallet. Like I think you mentioned that a little bit earlier on this AMA, but yeah, we've got some good stuff coming out. We've also got a new website specifically for the wallet itself, and a couple of different teasers on that. So if you haven't seen that quite yet, go over to wallet.l1x.foundation and you can get some good teasers of what the wallet looks like, how it'll work. The site is kind of limited right now until we are fully out there with the wallet. But in the meantime, definitely kind of take a look around and see where we're going to go with it. There's going to be plenty of documentation on how to import wallets, how to claim, how to install, as well as kind of walking you through some of the tech that we'll be rolling out. Likewise, with that being said, there's a lot of things that we're going to be implementing. So just what you see as soon as you get into the wallet, just know that that's not going to be the final version. We are definitely rolling out some more and more features as we onboard a lot of the technology that Kevin and the dev team have been working on. And that will be periodically throughout the next 5 months. And I couldn't be more excited for that because we've got some good things planned, both functionality as well as feature-wise, that we're going to be dumping into the wallet.
I also think I'll just add something to that as well. I think the best way to look at the wallet is an ever-evolving piece of tech interface, right? Is because as the protocol and the protocol and all the projects build out on the ecosystem, it will allow for more features, functionality to be able to be put into the wallet to enhance access to those features or to those applications. There's so many different things as the protocol builds out that the wallet will be able to leverage from, and vice versa. And so it'll be like a constant iteration, constant evolution of that wallet, just getting better and better and having more and more use case, features, functionality as the protocol itself continues to develop. So we're really excited to see the journey of that wallet, obviously starting with version 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and you know that those versions are going to keep on growing as it evolves, which is pretty exciting as well.
Yeah, and definitely one thing that I'm looking forward to, because a lot of the functions that we want to bring to the table inside of the wallet rely heavily on the L1X identity. And so that is something that you've heard me talk about on the AMAs before. And to Spark's comment, yes, this is an constantly changing, evolving wallet that's just going to trying to keep up with all the tech that Kevin and the dev team are pushing out, and all the ways that we can interact with things. But yeah, can't wait for the L1X identity to come out.
Does anyone else think that Cryptonaut's on the toilet while he's speaking to us? Because it sounds like that to me.
Yeah.
I think I know it.
Yep. I think. Yeah, can you guys hear me properly?
Yep, we got you.
Yep. Great. Yeah, I think with the release of the mainnet beta, it's been amazing, to see the product, of course, in action compared to the other guys out there. The efficiency was never doubted, but what's also important over here is, we've come up with a new way of how you can build on Web3. It's very important because until today, cross-chain activities were always considered with, relying on these chains, like as we saw in that swap demo as well. So, of course, we'll be releasing the Gitbook for the developers, to come and start building with us, because there is a learning curve in how the new, generation of contracts will be built with the L1X. But at the same time, we do allow developers to build in Solidity because they know that already. Yeah, it is. And I think from the user's perspective, right, you've got, the user can perform swaps, the user can, stake. So we are working very hard on, releasing the L1 DEX functionalities where the user or the community members and the new users will be able to take coins. They will be able to perform swap, and also, a completely new type of product, which is a multi-chain balancer pool. Now, all these three things as a fundamental DeFi, project will demonstrate what L1X can do, but it's going to extend from there. So as, Cryptonaut and Spark also mentioned, that the wallet is, think of the wallet as the first version of it, like Windows 3.1, but a completely new type of Windows 3.1. And very soon, the Explorer is also going live. So we'll have the Explorer live as well. And apart from that, we're preparing videos on how developers can come and build with us, can use the wallet, can use the Xstock, functionality integrated as well. The Chrome extension, you will be able to use it sometime next week. So, we'll release information on claiming. And what I recommend is, get your funds ready for the staking side of things, because it's going to be amazing how the new website that we are coming up with is also going to change the way you see websites. It's not, something that, like the L1X website or the L1X app website that you will be looking at. It's going to change the way you even look at DeFi websites completely. And the most important thing is, by the end of this month, when we release these websites, the Explorer is out there, the Gitbook is out there. For the rest of the year, it's important to get value locked on the protocol. So that's, as I mentioned 2 months ago, that's going to be the focus over here as well. And this is all going to aggregate into the user experience, which is, you will be an identity. You'll have a single identity of yourself on this chain, and you'll be able to use your coins that you've got across Web3. So once you start coming into the L1X app or the L1X website, start staking, start swapping, participate in the multi-chain balancer pool, you'll get an identity. You'll get an ID, which is like a personalization, right? Your credit system, which will extend into lending and borrowing, which will extend into, the ability to trade Bitcoin, for example, on the protocol once we have it ready as well. And I'm pretty excited to see how the TVO, increases, because what happens is, you look at all the other layer ones out there except Ethereum, they've kind of, got a Me Too product like the other chains, but they've stagnated, right? There is a stagnation where if you look at Ethereum, which is valued at $200 billion versus, the next layer one, is valued at $10 billion. That's a huge margin over there. Like they're not even in the competition. So then what's the next big thing in Web3? So we are risking it all over here. And we do believe that with the functionality we have demonstrated on the swap feature, a single feature like a swap is cheaper, it's faster, it's more secure. But when you add that to, completely new DeFi products like multi-chain balancer pool, balancer pools that will have lending and borrowing, you lend on one chain, borrow on the other, tokenize Bitcoin on one chain, borrow on the other. All these kind of things will allow the developers, to go and build completely new types of libraries that Web3 has never seen. And maybe that's the catch. Maybe that's what Web3 requires to put a protocol up there to compete with Ethereum and say, okay, someone's come up. Because think about it. If there was only Windows, there was no Apple, what would happen, right? It's something like that. And I'm pretty excited for the rest of this year.
I think we're definitely all in that boat. Just reading through the chats, the comments, everybody always gets that little bit of bullish vibe, especially when we talk about the things that are coming for the future. So much to talk about, and we're very excited to see all that come to life. And particularly, I think, from a community standpoint, what I'm excited for building with the L1X Explorer or the L1 Explorer is that it means that we can start tracking those transactions, which for the guys that have been in the chats listening, that means we can start playing puzzle games where you've got to find information. We get to have a full, like a treasure hunt. So I'm looking forward to that, building some of those out as well for you guys. I know we've got the Twitter space is coming up for a developer's guide tomorrow, which I think is a really good look inside, from that developer's, I have real trouble getting this word out, perspective, about building and about all that sort of stuff, is there anything you want to touch on about for the spaces tomorrow, Merkle?
Yeah, I think, what we've done is like we've analyzed all the layer ones out there, layer twos that allow developers to build. But I think, from a dev standpoint, when we go out there and give them the ability that ditch smart contracts, Xtalk is the future, right? The developers are interested to know what are we talking about now. And I think the starting point is for the developers is, we've got multiple types of projects that you can build with us. You can, for example, you can only use the L1X VM, or you can use L1X VM and EVM, or you can use Xtalk that, connects with the other chains and use L1X VM and EVM together. So this is more of a marketplace that we want to create for the developers. For example, if someone thinks that I think we should have like a multi-chain Uniswap model going on for a token pair, okay, that's great. So what we are going to do is we are going to establish the fundamentals as to how the developers will come and start building with us. And the tool chain that we are providing to the developers is like no other tool chains out there, where all you need to do is we are going to isolate the developers, environment to build in a way that they can go on the dev portal, go to the Git book, start the journey there. But also at the same time, there is a chat feature on the dev portal where it puts the dev community together. So instead of going to, Stack Overflow, instead of going to all these other places, we have created an environment for the developers to come and start building. Because the most important thing over here is improving the protocol as well. And when the developers go and push the limits of Xtalk to the next level, that's where the protocol also grows together. So we are not building the protocol and the application for it in isolation. And this is also going to start introducing gaming, logistics, supply chain, IoT applications on Xtalk. So that's what I'm very interested about, because the protocol is ready. You can push the limits to it, and the nodes can grow, it can scale as the applications keep growing as well. That's how the protocol is built. And I won't be surprised that by the end of the year, a certain group of developers, like we're already getting inquiries, certain group of developers come and build IoT SDK that the Web3 space has never seen before, right? IoT SDK integrated with, for example, your electricity side of things. So all these things will come up, and the partnerships as well with, these enterprises or organizations will be meaningful. Like when we listen to a partnership, okay, Chainlink has partnered with this. I said, okay, so what? Like, what's the end goal there? Is it just prototyping? Is it just testing? Because that's not what the people want. Like, it has not reached the people. So our focus is partnering up with enterprises, with developers to build things that people are going to use on day-to-day basis. That has always been the vision. And even the developers understand that.
It's awesome you speak about partnerships and the real use case of, and exactly as you said, like we've seen plenty of, I think blockchains partner up with things. As an example, Algorand partnered with FIFA, but there was never really anything that came of that, or Polygon partnered with, I think it was Starbucks. But there hasn't actually been any what now. And I think it's really interesting to see it, like that real world use case of, okay, this is a partnership, but now this is what it means from there. And that's, I think, that's the awesome next step.
Yeah. And think about it this way, right? Like all the community members here, are either working somewhere or, are doing their own projects, or they're running their own business. Think of it as simple as this. Like, can I accept payments via my website in, certain crypto? Can I get more out of my users? Like, can I get more customers and retain my customers as compared to the competitors out there? So how can Xtalk or L1X help me in that perspective? So what I would recommend is, if you've got a business, if you have a project in mind that you think are going to be used by multiple, people, you've got, bare minimum resources to make that happen, go to the contact page, send us an email, and yeah, we may take a bit of time because we already have things in pipeline and the team is growing. And if we reached out to you the very next day, that would mean that we are not working on what we currently have as well. So it's like touching everyone's life on a day-to-day basis. That is where X Talk will be a part of everyone's life. That's the vision, and that's what we are working towards.
That's awesome. Like I said, it's always, the talk of the future about how good this will be once everything's live and running. And I mean, it's already at that point where we're, changed the game of what crypto capabilities are in terms of interoperability and getting, from a real world perspective, as you were saying, people with shop fronts or something like that. It's not now, okay, we only accept one thing. With L1X, we have that ability to say, we could, you could take on any with this wallet. And I think that's a huge thing too, because it opens up for so many different avenues as well. While I've still got you here, Melker, we did have a question from the community about the nodes. I think it's just about just an overall, like an overview of how they're going. Is everything running smoothly from a back-end perspective? Can you give us an update on that?
Yeah, everything is fine. I mean, the nodes are functioning as it should function. We've been doing tests. We have been optimizing and improving it, but nothing has, in terms of node security or, optimization, there are no blockers, it has not gone down, or, we have been pushing the multi-chain balancer pool testing as well onto it from the L1X core team perspective to test how this works. Even that works, perfectly how it should be working. So it's all about, improvising it. And one more thing over here, which is on the event listener nodes, as you are asking me about the nodes, we are working on something that's going to change the way oracles are looked at. I think oracles have to be completely, oracles should be out of this Web3 space. They create more problems than solutions. So on the event listener node, which listens to the events from other layer ones, and these event listener nodes, they validate these events together, that the event that I've just heard from, this particular layer one is actually correct before passing it to the execution node that does something with it. Oracle information like pricing of the coin, it can be random numbers, it can be X, Y, and Z information from the real world into blockchain. That should be a part of the event listener node. So what we are doing is all the events will listen from layer one, and all the real world, information that does not live on the protocol and wants to come inside the protocol will be flattened into a single structure, which will look very similar to events that the other layer ones provide. So you won't need an oracle like Chainlink to send you information into the chain. The event listener executing the smart contract to listen to that event will be able to do that. I don't see oracles existing in the next 12 months. It'll be event listener nodes listening to that event and validating it.
Awesome, man.
That's
sorry, go on.
That's massive, by the way. It's massive, by the way. If anyone didn't get that, that's a pretty massive, I suppose, progression in terms of not needing to use for oracles and having the event listener kind of take over that role. That's pretty massive. And I'll also just add as well, guys in the chat, I've just added the link to the Twitter Spaces that's happening on Friday. The key is to, if I could just ask everyone in the community to share that across to as many places as possible, because I think it's a really important Twitter Spaces that are coming up, so we can get as many devs there understanding what the potential is in terms of building an application on LayerOneX. So yeah, look, I thank you in advance to everyone in the community for going ahead and sharing that out. That'd be great.
Yeah, and just to pile on as we were talking about, having obviously the listener nodes then take the role of oracles. It's all about that streamline that we've been talking about so much. It's okay, we don't need these processes. Why is this cheaper? Because we have less transactions, things are faster, things are better. It's about that streamlined process to overall create a better experience, I think. As Crypto always says, to make grandma usable, to make usable for grandma, the simpler it is, the better it is for the user experience and then the end goal, because you can start to build more things around that. So yeah, as Spark said, I don't think you realize how massive that is unless you realize how massive that is. Yeah, so just continuing on, I know we've already got a lot from Merkel. Is there anything else you want to add in while we've still got you on stage?
I think, more importantly, the goal for the rest of the year is getting total value locked on the protocol. and gradually start using the swap, stake, multi-chain balancer pool, and the new type of DeFi products that we build around, and also at the same time, we'll be pushing through on the other side of things as well, like gaming, IoT, all these places. But more importantly, when you get the L1X wallet, and also at the same time you start using the DEX and the app, think of it as the version 1 of something completely new, right? And it's going to start building, like we are going to create an ecosystem for the user around that. Like, just to give you a small example, the L1X app is going to have features like the dock. Have you got a dock in Mac that you browse the apps? You'll be able to browse your features on what you can do in DeFi using that dock inside the website. So we are creating a new type of a website with that looks like a Mac desktop. And these all things are new, but it's going to do more than what the other guys do. And I'm very interested, like after this, dev space, like anyone from Layer 0 or, Axela or anyone challenging it, like I'm very keen to do that. Like it's an open challenge to any interoperability bridges or protocols out there that can do it faster, it can do it cheaper and more secure. Like the protocol is there, mainnet beta IP address is there. Try to hack it, like and I can put a hand on my heart and say they will not be able to do it. They cannot do it more efficiently as we do it. And at the same time, we are like at the version 1. They had 2 to 3 years of lead time. We are only there for 2 months and we already do it better. So imagine what's going to happen in the next 2-3 years.
That's it. Up potential, huge. And that's, I think, yeah, as we talk about all the time, it's massive. Speaking of TBL as well, like one of the big parts of that, I think, is the Exp Perks program. Spark, did you want to touch on that while you're on here?
Yeah, let me run through that. So, look, I'll probably start with this. One of the, I think, as the protocol evolves and as we continue to add features, functions, and as you could just hear from Merkle Root, there's so many things coming short-term, long-term, medium-term that we can continue to iterate on and improve and continue to build out and add value. But one of the best representations of the interoperability and the technology will be the L1X coin, right? So the L1X coin, and what I mean by that is that obviously it'll have use case within the native protocol, but it will also have use case outside of the native protocol once we start to allow access to be able to use L1X coin as the gas utility token on any chain we're connected to. So when you think about the L1X coin and the value wrapped around it, the L1X coin gets its value from its utility. It is a utility coin. And so when you think about the utility that we know that's already there and it's already coming for the L1X coin, it's very unique, the amount of utility that this coin will have. It will have, feel free to name one, but I don't know if there's another coin that has the ability to act as the gas token on 9 different chains, right? And we'll have that. We'll have 8 plus L1X. It'll have all the utility that we'll be giving it on the native platform as well. To add to the value of the L1X coin is the Exp Perks program. So traditionally, when you look at an ecosystem of a layer 1, one of the most important things about a layer 1 is firstly the tech. Is the tech, useful? Is it going to help builders build great things? Is it going to be sustainable? Does it provide, does it solve problems? And we already see the problems that are being solved by the L1X tech in terms of interoperability, but in terms of applications, some pretty amazing things can be built on LayerOneX. Now, to be in this early stage of the LayerOneX, I suppose, development and the journey, I think is pretty exciting. Because one, you can get some L1X coin and be part of the journey. But on top of that, the Exp Perks program, I'll give you a couple of things that we're working on. So we're currently working with a labs partner. We're actually, Chief and I will be catching up with them in Dubai next week to finalize the structure, which will be incorporated. Some of the structure will add value to the Exp Perks program. But if you can imagine the L1X coin, it's got all this utility, but also the staking value of the L1X coin traditionally is the APR you get from all the block rewards. You stake your token, you get APR from block transactions. On top of that, the Exp Perks program, not only will you get the APR, but you will have it will have certain tiers in there which will allow you access to participate in multiple different perks. So whether that's merchandise, whether that's bonus coins, whether that's one of the things we're working on with this labs company is a launch pad. Now, traditionally, when you look at a launch pad on a layer one, it's owned, it's got its own token. People will have to buy that token to participate in all these projects coming through the launch pad. What we're doing differently here with the Exp Perks program is the launch pad will actually be the participation in the launch pad and those projects coming through will be determined by your stake. Right, so adding extra value to the L1X coin, adding extra value to staking, not just the APR, but the opportunity to get involved in these amazing projects coming through when they want to do a public round raise. Even the opportunity to get involved in, projects, amazing projects that L1X Labs are going to incubate that want to do a seed round, that want to do a private round, right? Now, normally those are restricted. Once again, those are restricted to VC level. That's restricted to, certain players of the game. But what we're doing is we're wrapping an Exp Perks program where these perks will be available just by selecting a staking tier. So now not only can you get involved early in L1X, but you now have the opportunity through what we'll be releasing probably in a couple of weeks. We're going to finalize these things in Dubai so we can actually give some more detail around the Exp Perks program when we actually present and roll it out by the end of the month. But you'll have opportunities to get involved in projects coming through the launch pad. Certain tiers will have opportunities to get involved in seed and private rounds of projects coming through. Now, these are not just any projects. These are projects built on LayerOneX that are able to leverage the Xtalk technology. So some of these projects that are coming through already that we know of are nothing short of amazing, in terms of what they can do, in terms of what they're going to bring to not just LayerOneX, but also blockchain itself. So when we look at the Exp Perks program, I'm really excited about building real value, actual value, tangible value around additional value around making sure that not only do you want to hold the L1X coin, you want to stake that coin, because it's not just the rewards. And when you think about the rewards as well, the rewards are coming from multiple different places, native transactions, cross-chain transactions. So that on it in itself is pretty attractive. But you put these perks and the opportunity to get involved in these other projects, opportunity for all the other different perks that we'll be rolling out, and you'll be able to see that when we do release the program. I'm extremely bullish about the Exp Perks program, adding another level of value to the coin, to the community, to participating on securing the network.
That's huge. I think if you're not excited about all those things that are coming, I'm not sure what will get you excited. That's massive. We've already talked about the groundbreaking technology that we have in L1X itself, but to then have the access to some of the things they're building on top of that, you just have to think about how next level that would be if you were given the world's very best tech and then told you could build anything on top of it, and it's only your imagination can stop what you could build. Like I think that's huge. I've got a couple of community questions if you want to just quickly go through those. One was around the private sale through DexFi and claiming tokens. I know we've got a lot of extensive stuff coming about how people can claim, how they can use the wallet. It's just a clarification question. There'll be instructions for the people that went through DexFi as well on how they can claim. Is that in the works as well? Sorry,
my thing cut out. What was the full question?
So it's just a clarification question around the guys that contributed through DexFi. In terms of being able to claim and stake their tokens as well. Will there be instructions on how to do so, and will they be able to do it along with sort of the main launch with everybody else as well?
From a standpoint, we've tried to make it easy for those that purchase through that, the DexFi, as well as the people that purchase directly through L1X. And we've tried to make it as simple as possible with the process and flow. Again, it's a pretty simple thing. Basically, you're just going to verify your wallet address that you connected with. For right now, we're only focused on those that have a MetaMask wallet. For those that basically contributed through a direct deposit, cash, we do have a few options that we are working on to facilitate that as well. However, if you did purchase through a MetaMask wallet, you're basically going to connect your wallet and you're going to approve. You're not connecting, but you're basically approving the approving that you are the owner of that wallet. And then what it will basically do is give you your coin allocation. And once you see that coin allocation, you have two options that you can do. One is just that you can claim your coins, or two, you can dispute it. So if you feel like that's not the accurate amount that was located, and I should probably preface this, we're focused on the private sale portion at this point. Public sale will be coming shortly, but for right now, we're only focused on private sale. So we want to make sure that we're getting the right allocation in the two different cells there. So again, private sale. And if you don't feel like the amount that's being listed on the screen is correct, you can actually hit dispute. It pulls up a form. You can go through and basically provide, your hash, give us a message as to why you think that it's off. However, if everything looks good, it's claim, and then it's one more claim. Once you do claim your coins, that's pretty much it. There's no going back after that. It will allocate and it will drop right into your L1X wallet. So before you can claim, obviously you've got to have your L1X wallet set up, because you're going to have to copy your L1X address. And there will be a spot where you'll basically be able to link your token allocation to that wallet address there. So again, we have a step-by-step process for you guys to go through. But in reality, we wanted to try to create the most seamless process as possible, no matter if you bought through DexPy or if you bought through L1X.
Awesome, that's good to hear. And yeah, I know that there's, as I said earlier in the chat, I know that there's a lot of documentation coming out around how to go through the claiming process. It is very thorough. There is pictures for those of us that like the picture books. There's plenty of those, easy to follow stuff. So it's definitely going to make it a lot easier to follow along. And then also on top of that, if there's any issues or you're having any problems following along as well, we've also got all of our Discord mods and experts inside the Discord you can always reach out to for help. I know, speaking about TV, I've got a lot of people excited, obviously, which then leads to the next questions. How can you contribute bulk cash money to the TVL? And this person's particularly speaking to on and off ramps for fiat into the wallet. Just as an update, is there? I know it's on the roadmap, obviously. Is there any clarity around soonality of that?
Yeah, look, we do want people to use the on-ramping, and get inside the wallet, but we're just making sure that we select the right on-ramping partner to do that. And the easiest way, until we list on an exchange or something like that, is first you can on-ramp and buy, a stable coin and then move to L1X. Or you can, you buy stable coin and stake that stable coin on the protocol as well, because it's a multi-chain staking feature. So it hopefully before the end of the year, that should also happen.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's coming, obviously it's in the pipeline. We're just making sure now, as with anything, we've got the right partnerships there. We want to make sure that the everything's running seamlessly, effectively. So we're heading towards the end of the live. Is there any final questions? Like I said, we're very open with community. If you guys want to come up and have a quick chat, or you want to throw anything in the chat in order for us to read out and ask the questions for the team, by all means do so. Are we still? It's for those of us in the US. Are we still unable to purchase L1X token in the public sale? If you can jump into the Discord in the L1X, that'd probably be the best place to ask that question. So any other questions, like I said, throw them in the chat. Let's start heading into closing statements from the team as well. Or anything else you want to share before we start to round out, because we like to keep this concise within the hour. So would anybody like to jump up first?
Yeah, I think overall, where the journey has begun, right? In terms of mainnet beta now is launched. Functions and features will continue to evolve. Applications will continue to build. We'll continue to see growth on the protocol, not just of the protocol itself, as the protocol, the native layer continues to evolve, and Kevin and the team continue to add features, functionality, a lot of world firsts. But because of those features and those features and functionalities, we're going to see more and more applications wanting to leverage those. So this is a pretty, and I think, we've said this many times before, but that's the importance of mainnet beta, is to be able to roll these out, these features, functionalities, stage these things out, have applications build, utilize, and then show other applications what can be done upon the platform. So by the time we get to full mainnet, we've got a pretty vibrant, robust ecosystem of users, of applications. I think it's a pretty cool journey to be on over the next 5 months.
Definitely. I don't think it can be stated enough how much the next 6 months is going to change the landscape of not only LayerOneX, but crypto itself. Closing statements from the rest of the team.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I'm pretty excited because it just seems like this week alone, because we've been able to get some good things online project-wise, it just seems like internally the videos are just rolling out, getting ready to roll out the door. And because we do have those projects, it's allowing us to really showcase. And I think that this will make those that are part of the community super bullish. I think it'll make other people realize what they're going to be missing out on as well. And I couldn't be more excited for what's to come and all the videos that are going to be rolling out here soon. With that being said, you mentioned a little bit of alpha on the merchandise marketplace. So this is a back burner project for me, just so that you guys are aware, but I've had tons of people asking me about the flat brimmed hats, where they can get those, and other merchandise. So I will be trying to work on some stuff in my personal time to try to get you guys up a merchandise store so that we can, you guys can start basically buying any type of merch that payment. And so that's basically out for you guys here in the next couple of months.
I heard that there was...
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
I heard that there was some really stylish James-style hoodies in the merch store coming up. Is that just hearsay, or is that a real thing?
We'll make it happen. It's called the James hoodie. So it's a big furry hoodie.
I'm absolutely looking forward to that.
Use the word stylish. We shouldn't be using the word stylish and James's hoodie in the same sentence. If that's
maybe functional is better. Maybe functional.
How about warm?
He is in Tassie. It's very cold. Awesome. Yeah, Merkleroot, if you wanted to jump up.
Yeah, look, I think I'm excited to get the wallet out, get the feedback for the initial version, and I think get prepared to start using the multi-chain staking and the swap feature, so that you don't have to go anywhere else to stake, to lend your coins. So I think it's just showtime now.
Absolutely. This is a really good question from the community. Something I think I'd be really interested to hear too. Would an on-off ramp partner allow for auto pay or monthly membership fees for protocols that may be built on LayerOneX?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at on-off ramp partners, so just to give everyone a bit of an idea, and I know Chief's been doing a lot of work around this, but you've got multiple different entities that you're working with because of the different jurisdictions around the world and these different countries. So there's a lot to coordinate, and then you do have companies that will aggregate that as well. But I think once you get on off ramp, anything's really possible in terms of what application you can build into that on off ramp. And so I don't know whether that would be a protocol feature or that would just be an application feature, someone leveraging the on off ramp ability of the L1X wallet.
Yeah, that would be massive. Like I said, if we can, great question. Really starts the thought process of capabilities once again. Chief, did you want to throw in any closing statements, even an opening statement for you?
Yes. So I've only just been able to get my microphone to work, but just touching on the on-ramp, off-ramp, to say it's complex is probably an understatement. just one of those vendors alone has about probably 4 pages of different conditions and amounts and methods of sending that can be achieved around the world. So every one of those is very complex, and then we have to look at what the rates are that are being charged for those. Some of them are up around 4% plus, which is clearly unacceptable. So we're working through those very, very hard at the moment, trying to get those rates down as low as we can to around the 1% mark. And we're also exploring some options around future state even better than just choosing an on-ramp, off-ramp partner. And that could mean that we bring that concept in-house. The other thing is, Spark and I are pretty excited about heading across to Dubai. That's looking really exciting where we're heading with those guys. We've had some really good meetings and discussions with them and are really moving forward quite fast with that. Yesterday I also had a catch up with Diga Labs, which is Eldaroon, and those guys were bouncing off the wall, desperate to get their hands on the tech. And all I can say is the amount of work that Merkle has done over the last couple of months in getting things like the DEX up and working and the rest of the protocol itself, that workload has been phenomenal that he's been able to achieve, and hats off to him. I think I don't think the community or any of our followers have an understanding of the amount of work that's gone into that, and then we'll be able to utilize a lot of those capabilities across in the gaming world as well.
That's definitely a huge props. I know Merkel shared his screen set up in the Discord the other day, and I think even just looking at the amount of screens there was enough for people to realise that there's some serious stuff happening over there in the office.
So you go, Merkel.
No, go ahead.
When I walk into Kevin's office, I've got to walk in my tippy toes just to make sure that he's there, because he's just surrounded by screens, and there seems to be another screen every month that gets. I don't know how much more room we have left in that office, but he's going to be consumed by screens.
I've got 3 screens: one for event listener, one for execution, and one for signing.
Yeah.
And he's using every single one of them. You go in there and watch him work on it. It's quite phenomenal to see.
Yeah, and I think I can't wait to have an office space that has a garden. I can have my setup outside, because it gets pretty congested inside, sitting for 18 hours, 5 days a week, inside. It's I gotta keep going out. So I wish we have some kind of garden available.
I think that's so what you're saying is that we need to everybody needs to send gifts of plants to Merkle Root for the launch celebrations. Yeah, so if you have a quick look in the chat, you'll be able to see Kevin's setup there, which is absolutely outrageous. I have no need for that many screens, but it gets me jealous thinking I need something similar, but it's just not the case. Huge amounts of screens. Okay, just conscious of time, like I said, we try to keep these to an hour. Once again, thanks everybody for jumping on. It's always such a pleasure to have everybody from the team here to be able to interact with the community and give us all the fun stuff and the updates and everything that's happening. I know we've got so much coming and so much that's already going on, just 1 week into already having the Genesis block created. So many things that are coming. Obviously, from the community standpoint, we've got plenty of stuff as well for you guys that we're building out. Just as reminders, we've got the competitions going on. We've got Gleams, we've got the referral program, we've got the 10K comp as well. And for one of the closing statements from me, be on the lookout today sometime. We do have that cheeky little play around in the wallet from myself, James, and Sam that we where we had a great deal of fun putting that video together, playing around, setting the transactions, things like that. So look out for that one. It's coming up for the sneak peek. Unless there's anything else, I think that's probably pretty close for us. And we can round that out there. Once again, thanks everybody for listening in. It's always a pleasure having such good buy-in from our community. You guys are really what keeps this going, obviously, and keeps this project tip of the spear. So we appreciate having you here. And let's close that out there, and we'll see you ideally tomorrow for the developers guide with Kevin on Twitter. So if you can drag some of your mates, that it might be a little highbrow for if you're not a dev, but that doesn't matter. It's all about the learning experience. So the more we can get there, the merrier. And ideally we see you all tomorrow. Thanks everybody for coming, and we'll see you on the next one.